Yeah, we got some good shit for the hard luck, baby.
That's a cool one.
Your brother, basement hard luck. Basement hard luck. Card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Pimps and card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Your brother, basement hard luck. Basement hard luck. Card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck. Pimps and card shots, thieves, murderers with hard luck.
Good morning and welcome to the Hard Luck Show. I'm your certified, qualified West Side host, Steve Lucky Luciano. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you've tuned into the greatest show on earth. Across from me, or actually through the computer, is my partner.
Is Chumahan Bowen, American Indian, Southern Californian, elegant barbarian, and lawyer man.
Yes. And on sound, old Blue Eyes himself.
Chew, you don't have to lean forward when you're talking to the mic. Sean Lewis, certified audio professional, engineer for the Hard Luck Show.
Damn straight. And we got Big Pick Mike in the house, handling some visuals, hanging, you know.
We're doing our thing. What's up, Hard Luck Show? What's up, Mr. and Mrs. Earbud? Shout out to all y'all.
Yeah, there that is, huh? Chuman, what's up, partner?
Dude, before we get into it, you know that I went to that electronic hallucinogen LSD hut that Adam Shorn was talking about?
Yeah, like the hallucinogen trip that you can go on without taking actual hallucinogens?
Yeah, over there in Santa Monica on 2nd Street. It's called the Reality Center.
Uh-huh.
I bought the full fucking package, everything.
How much was it?
It was 250 bones.
Sean's so upset right now.
Why?
Sean's making some fucking faces right now. He's like, man, you know what I could do with 250
No, I just I'd love to do that, but not for $200.
No.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you this straight up, and I'm cheap, bro. That's big Lux. I'm as cheap as they come. I'm probably cheaper than Estevan Oriole. And I'm telling you right now, it was worth it. It was worth it.
Damn.
How
There
so?
you go.
So I went down to 2nd Street. I gave my proper respect to 17th, of course, even though I wasn't over there in that way, but I knew where I was. And I went into the Reality Center, and the first thing that they set you up on, first of all, we could all go down there. There's a table with 4 beds, headphones, light flashes, all that stuff with this giant screen on the wall. We could all go down there and do a trip out together. And when I talked to Tarun, the dude, about it, the reality manager, he said that when group people do it, sometimes they see visions of each other during the process.
What?
Yes.
Man.
Wow.
So
Why does the process start? How does it go? What do they do?
you sit in a chair, right? They hook up binaural things to your ears, whatever. They sit back and they do this vocal analysis where they talk to you and do all this shit. They do a guided meditation while you're talking, and they have on, like, it's like a size of it's like a giant screen. And one wall is just a giant screen with your voice waves on it, with fractals and circles analyzing the harmonics in your voice to determine like where your consciousness is at, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Sean, I can see him laughing already.
Yeah.
Why is that funny, Sean?
I don't know.
Come on.
I mean, I don't want to.
Come on, wow.
Hey, some people believe in that shit, man. That's a bunch of horse shit.
Oh, sounds kind of like what you want.
Well, listen. So I sit there and I saw it, right? And it's all color-coded, your voice, and they figure out all this stuff. And during the guided meditation, they tell you, like, go to your special place and, you know, think about what you want to be and then say whatever it is. Now, look, the room, it looks like a DJ booth, like on steroids. There's like all these dials and knobs and all this other shit. And the guy's sitting there, and your headphones are kind of like what you'd wear if you were flying a plane. Look at Sean still laughing. His head's lolling over to the side. His eyes are shut tight from just sheer lunacy. So they do this whole thing, right? And it's very relaxing. You get cooled out, you get focused, whatever, 30 minutes. Then they take you into the chamber. You go into this chamber and there's a bed filled with fluid that is exactly at body temperature.
It's body fluid.
I didn't check what was inside it, but I didn't smell any odors.
Okay.
Didn't smell anything untowards or any umami flavored smells.
No kundalini smells.
Nothing musky, I say. And so you lay on the bed, right? And again, you're in another room, the chamber. It's got, DJ booths and all this shit. Okay. Your clothes stay on. Nobody's like, why don't you loosen your pants a little bit? No, there's none of that. So I laid down, right? Now on this bed, it's like a little water bed or something, okay? You have to make sure your feet touch the bottom pad. You don't have shoes on. You have to make sure your feet touch the bottom pad, and they put like a weighted thing on your chest too. Okay? And it's warm. And you've already done this guided meditation, so you're totally ready for whatever. And I'm trying to get as high as I can without doing any drugs. So I'm really into it. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. So then they put these giant headphones on you, and they've used your voice to create binaural whatever textures for your ears.
Binary.
Yeah. And then they bring this light shield down over your eyes, right? And you're laying there. And this light shield's got like all these different lights in it. They're not on yet. And then he's like, okay, and with the spirit of gratitude and an appreciation for allowing me to be your guide, please remember to breathe deeply, because the deeper you breathe, the farther you will go. And then I'm like, trying to breathe deep, and all of a sudden the light starts flashing. Oh, and the guy told me, he's like, I don't recommend you opening your eyes on the beginning as a beginner. Although Adam Shorn opened his eyes. So I was like, oh, I'm going to be an eye-opening motherfucker right about now. If Adam Shorn can handle it, I damn sure well can handle it. So I'm like laying on this bed. The bed vibrates. The binaural stuff is going on. The bed is vibrating along with the music, various sounds, and the lights are strobing in your eyes, bro. And because all of your senses are being like stimulated at the same time, I literally felt like I was sliding down a mountain. It felt like I was on an avalanche, like I was falling or something, dude. And I definitely had visions. I definitely was hallucinating. I definitely felt way out, bro. Way out. I saw like images of like bears. I saw like the surf and the ocean coming and going. And I was probably in that thing, I would say probably for 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And, on some, like, you don't trip out so crazy, like, oh, I'm going to jump out of a window. But because you're being vibrated and your sounds are being like switched back and forth and you're being strobed in the face, you definitely feel crazy. And when they slowly bring it all back down again and you're done, and I was like looking at the wall, it was definitely moving. The wall, all the textures were waving. And obviously it's because all that strobe shit was in my eyes. But I will tell you this, I felt great. I felt light as a feather. I felt relaxed. I felt totally de-stressed. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to make it a weekly or a bi-weekly thing. It's definitely achieved a level of relaxation better than I feel like therapy, like talk therapy, for sure.
So you'd rather spend your money on that opposed to a therapy session or a massage session you'd rather go and do that?
1,000%, no doubt about it. It's better money spent, I think.
What do you think, Sean?
I don't know, man.
on, Sean.
I mean, it sounds great. It sounds great. You're putting some pretty great reviews on it. So, and you know what? I've done a sound bath, and those are fucking fantastic. So, I get it, but $200, bro? Come on.
Well, that's because I got the full caddy. You can do it. You can do a shorter time for like $100. But I'm just telling you, bro. It makes a sound bath feel like ginger beer.
Okay.
Because those vibrations that you get in a
like
sound
ginger
bath,
beer.
it doesn't include the stimulation of the eyes.
That's true. I mean, it's like a sound bath, but times 10.
With a visuals twist.
And I'm telling you, like, it's not like you definitely see stuff, and you know at the time that you're seeing it, there's some part of you that knows that it's just the patterns of lights and stuff, and that, you know, it's not. But at a certain point, you stop caring, and you start getting interested in the little weird shit that you're seeing. And because your body's being stimulated, you don't just feel like you're laying down, you feel like you're floating. And then because of the sounds, and then, dude, when we got done, you know, this probably won't surprise you, but like when I got done and the dude was like, "So, how do you feel?" I was like, I hate trying to put it into words right after, like, what's that? But I told him, I go, "Can we do this with classic rock?" And he said, "Yes, we can." And I was like, I know this sounds insane, but something that kept coming up for me was Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Because of all those little sounds?
Dude, I was like, dude, if I could get that on a loop while that's all going on, I might have a nervous breakdown. I might just have a psychotic break. Forget who I am.
A breakdown or a breakthrough?
It was maybe one of the best. I think for a guy that, and listen, I just got high. I got, I had those gummies, and this was way better than that.
Oh, cool. So what do you get for 300?
I mean, I got the top tier. You don't get anything more than that.
So no reach around,
No jack, no hand job, nothing. Nothing.
No
Listen,
reach around?
Just asking.
Guy vibrating.
There was no. Is there any way I can be put face down on this vibrating bed? Like, does that?
Right?
I was on a vibrating bed.
Sir,
my
why
pants
is
came
there a
down.
big wet spot on the front of your pants?
I'm just gonna hump the corner of the bed. I don't want to lay flat down.
Hey, you know what? There's gonna
get
be a
for
tip in this
500.
for
Let me tell you
know what I
something.
mean? It's great.
So Juman, okay, so I like that, and I'm contemplating doing that. Okay, check me out. So in the early '90s, I did a float tank. Back then, they were calling them isolation tanks. And
Right.
there was a very popular movie in the '80s that got these isolation tanks, people knowing about them and doing them, called Altered States, right? And
Wow.
John Hurt was in it, and it was the dope movie. But I got intrigued with them through the movie. I didn't even know those things existed or they were real. And so what an isolation tank is, for you guys, if you don't know, it's a tank that's closed off where there's water inside. You climb into this thing and you close it, and there's absolutely no light. When you're in there, you're up to probably about maybe 1.5 feet, 18 inches of water. That water's been filled with so much salt that anything in that water floats. There's no way it can even touch. You can't even touch your butt on the bottom of the tank. I didn't know this, but at the time, I went in there and found this out, and I went in and I had smoked. I mean, this was in the early 90s. I had smoked a big fat joint. I think I might even drank.
Wow.
I went into the thing, and it took me somewhere else, man. It was I was silent for almost an hour, floating in this tank, free floating.
What?
And
No light.
no lights, no sound, and you can put the earplugs in. But you don't have, if you have water problems, but when you lay there, you're doing nothing. You're completely laying and you're not touching anything. And when you lay like that, your ears go just underneath the water. So you're getting that silent, you know that sound, right? When everything shuts off. You're in that and in darkness for 45 minutes.
And the water is like just the temperature of your body.
Oh, dude, it's exactly the temperature of your body. Okay,
what does the water feel like?
It's like 96 degrees or something. It feels wonderful, dog. It doesn't feel weird because of salt or anything like that. Like, I'm sure when you taste it, your mouth a little bit, you can taste the salt, but there's so much salt in the water.
Sting? Like, did you have when you shaved, did you nick your balls? Was there a sting or anything in the salt?
That happened to me.
Yeah, you know what?
I had like a cut on my hand, and I got in the thing, and it was like, ow. It was like in my, like in my cuticle or whatever. Definitely stung.
Look. I don't know, tingly.
Well, you can't be wiping as hard as you do, Sean. You're tearing your anus. You're getting an anus vision.
So, I'd never made the time to go back, Jumahan. And so I had talked about it with Monique, right? So then here comes Christmas, and Monique goes and, she's good. She finds the spots, and and she gives me this gift card. And the gift card, I open it up, and it says on the front in real nice writing, it's embossed. It says, Pause. That's the name of the place, Pause. And I bring this all up because you started with your experience there and what you have, which is very similar to where I'm going. And so I'm like, fuck, they have isolation tanks out here. I even know they still had those, and they're like state-of-the-art dope ones. And it's 5 minutes from my house on Washington. So I'm like, because when I saw it, I said, I'd seen that sign somewhere. And she's like, it's right on Washington. Go over there. It's two sessions. The sessions are 1 hour apiece. I go in by myself. I fill out the little waiver. They give me the rundown. I have a pair of shorts with me. They're like, you can go in naked. You can go there. And I was like, I looked at pictures online first, and I was like, I told Monique, I go like, they're like, do you want this tank that's like big for two people? Would you like your own solo tank? And I'm like, I want my own solo tank. Yeah. I'm like, all right. And so I'm wondering, like, dude, you can go with nothing on, and I wonder what this place is like. And cause I'm kind of like a cootie guy a little bit, not all the ways, but a little bit, especially when it's like something like a bathtub or a pool or something you're submerging yourself in.
Yeah,
so
I haven't changed the water in 3 weeks.
There you go, exactly. So when I show up, the place is like new, state of the art. Everything's dope. You know what I mean? So I get comfortable just walking in. Everything's like, it's like an Air One of fucking isolation tanks, right? That's what it feels like. No cucumber water. It's like you feel like you're in Equinox. So I go in there and and he's like, yeah, you can change over there, and this is what you do. You just step in. Here's a little mask if you need it for your eye, or for a floaty if you need it for your head. And then there's some earbuds here if you need them. Here's a towel. And he goes, when I leave the door, just go ahead and lock it. And then when you go in, just close it behind you and timer. Okay, cool. And I get in, and I just went in naked, bro. I said, fuck it. And I went in there, and Chumahan, let me tell you, man, I couldn't clearly recall the early 90s one that much. It was like faint memory in my head, also because I was high. But I went into this one sober, bro. And I'm telling you, man, I got in there, and for the first 5 to maybe 5-10 minutes max, they had music playing on there. And he had said, it was like that music where it's like, waterfalls and like that kind of sounding music, right? And he goes, you can turn that music, hit that knob, you can go silent, and I go, cool. And for about 10 minutes, I'm just laying there acclimating, tripping, but the music's kind of like, I'm kind of focusing on that, and I'm just finally like, all right, I need the music off now. And I turn it off. And so now I'm closed, I'm floating, my ears are under the water, and I just start removing everything from my mind. I start clearing. I go into I'm doing what I can do, a meditation, like Yogananda style, right? But I'm laid out. So I'm just clearing my mind, and I'm just focusing on nothing, the blackness, bro. And it took about It probably took another 10 minutes. So it was probably 20 minutes in that motherfucker. 10 with music off, another 10 till I started finally hitting some gold, bro. And I'm telling you, Chumahan, I had to pause every now and then and touch myself and touch the bottom of the tank. Cause I couldn't, to be completely suspended with nothing touching you in that black space with no sound, I felt like I was floating through space. You guys,
Weightless.
You're weightless. You're completely weightless, man. And you start to not feel your body. I'd have to pause and touch myself because I was like, dude, I feel like I'm just like I know this sounds stupid, you guys, but I felt like I was just a spirit. I felt like I was just my consciousness. And my body and anything else was secondary to this thing that's inside of me. I was like in tune with it. But I'd shed the body somewhere in this experience, Chumahan. It was just wonderful. Now, it wasn't the type of trip that you have. Like, I didn't have a bunch of like eye tricks going on, but also, Chumahan, there wasn't a bunch of light stuff going on that would trigger all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just in blackness. But what I can say is that the feelings I can relate to as you walked out of there, the feelings of like, I really took a break from everything for a moment. Like I emptied some shit out. Like I took a real pause, which is the name of the place. And to me, it was more than just not thinking about everything. I was just really, really relieved. I felt lighter, like you said. I felt clear. I felt more at peace. I felt calmer, not so agitated. Like I kind of walked out of there like, what's up, bro? Like that, you know, like it's all good. Now, Chumahan, how long did it last? How long did it last? What'd you say?
I mean,
you said you were like 30 minutes.
Probably. I want to say like for like a, so it lasted for about a half hour, but it might have been because King Salmon came to film me coming out of it.
Oh no!
Oh
Shit.
Right, so
of course. Serenity's gonna go out the window with that guy, right?
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, what was it like when you got to the end of your pause session? Like, what's the experience for you when you've got to that level? You shed your body, and you're just this consciousness, and then you come out of it. What's that like?
Well, let me also state this, Chuman, and this is really key and important. Yeah. Okay. To a degree, first off, I'm going to say this. To a degree, that salt water at that level and that much has some type of a little bit of a numbing effect after you're in it. But Chuman, I'm sitting there and you feel zero pain. Zero pain. No pain. There is no nothing. You're sitting there. You're in no pain at all. Everything's floating. You're suspended there. So when I came out of there, I felt... I just felt the first thing I have to agree with you on was the lightness. I felt lighter. My thoughts weren't so heavy. I wasn't so heavy. It's almost like the sunglasses, like you lift them off and the shade of everything wasn't that shade dimmer, you know, like, but it lasted for like maybe like a half an hour or an hour with me. I felt really at peace. But think about that, Chuman. At what point in time are we stopping the planet and being suspended somewhere in darkness and in silence, and not asleep, but in darkness and silence and left by yourself in complete nothing harming you, nothing hurting you, nothing bothering you? That's, for me, that's what it was. And I probably got like a good half an hour of juice out of that motherfucker. I'm going back. I love it. It's great.
The closest thing I think you get to that what you just described would be being in the womb before you're pushed out.
Bro, there you go. There you go. It does feel like that. It fucking feels like that when you're in it, dude. Because when was the last time that you were in something like that? Was inside your mom, right? And you know that silent sound when your ears go underwater? That's the same sound you are when you're inside the belly of your mother.
Wow.
You're hearing her vibrations. You're hearing all your senses pick up in other ways. Wow. You can't see, but you can hear and you can feel. Oh man, I'm telling you, bro, like it's exactly that, Chumahan.
We should. I feel like as a crew, we should try out all these different things, man, so we could talk about it. Because I would do that.
Yeah.
Based on what you said. Sean, you did that?
Yeah, I did it a couple times. I think I did it.
How many times did you do it?
I think I've done it 3 times. I did it once in it was in Orange County somewhere the first time I did it. And then I did 2 floats at the Float Lab in Westwood.
Really?
And the second one was 2 hours. The second one I did it
2 hours?
Wow, man.
Bro,
What was that like?
Oh my God. My back started hurting after a while. So I had to get out. But dude, the first time I did it, so I go in there and I had my girl got me a gift certificate to this place. So I go in there, I give them the gifts, whatever. But I think I had the gift certificate. Anyway, so I go in there hey, take a shower, go in. We're going to play.
Right, they make you shower first,
yeah, they make you shower, and they're we're going to play a little music or whatever, and then there's lights on when you go in there, but they're real dim, so you can kind of get settled.
Right.
So I settle in or whatever, and at this point I've been meditating, so I was super into it. So I just fucking, the lights go out and the music stops, and I just start, first I can't think of nothing but what, this is weird, this is kind of bizarre. It was kind of uncomfortable at first, but then I settled in and I just had a really good float, man. I was meditating. I was centering, focusing on my breath. And then time, I get out, I take a shower, I put my clothes on, I go back out to the thing, and I'm oh, that was great. I get in my car and I drive away, and I realize, oh shit, I forgot to pay. And then I realize I'm still in the tank.
What? What?
Shut the fuck up.
Swear to God.
Right now.
What?
Swear to God.
Left his body vessel, man.
Swear to God, bro. I was
Bro. That's
like a lucid
dope. Are
dream.
you kidding me?
It was crazy.
That's wild.
That's
shit
a fucking
right
great. Now that's
Blue
a
Eyes
great.
is floating.
I'm going back, bro. They told me I could go back into the float tank. The sutures healed.
Yeah.
So the doctor last week told me, oh yeah, you can go do whatever you want now, pull whatever. So I'm going back in. But that's a great story, bro. Thank you for sharing that. That's dope, man. Fuck.
That is dope. You know what? That is a great premise for a movie.
Well, did you ever watch Altered States?
I never did.
Oh, with John Hurt, you got to watch it, dude. You got to watch where they're going. When they go into this thing, they go into some subconscious shit, but it's really almost happening, and they got to get back in the tank to get back. It's crazy, bro. But that is a great. It is a great premise, Juman, for a movie.
Dude, I'm down to do to do a float for sure. And I'm down to try to make to do a weekly thing out of float. And I'm telling you, I was being funny a little bit because I didn't want to mess up the experience that I had personally with it too much. But I'm telling you, the reality center, that whole thing, if for no other reason than taking a pause, shutting off all the stuff that you normally worry about and just introspection and floating around inside your own consciousness, for sure. Then, of course, I get out, and King Salmon's in the lobby and he's got a camera and he's like, what happened, dude? So tell me what the fuck happened. And I'm like, I did it. He's got his foxtail, in his pants. His keyring is a foxtail that's been dyed blue.
He's like the unreal,
Santa Monica near the promenade, so he just looks like another one of the crazy people.
He's an unrealistic guy in the real. What was it? The reality center? Like the reality center got some fucking unreal guy up in that place. But Chuman, you know what I got confused on? What I was trying to think of is when you first said, and Adam brought up the reality center, and you started saying, all right, I'm going to go to this place. This is Santa Monica. I started thinking about who's the little guy that was like a homie from from San Diego, and then he went into the services.
The OG Pumpkin dude?
OG Pumpkin. Don't you? I think it was him that he went to a place in Santa Monica to go do to deal with his post-war shit. Remember?
Yeah.
And he did the whole shit. He did the mushroom and the other thing, or right? You remember that?
Like microdosing.
Right.
Whatever that was.
And he was in Santa Monica, and I remember him saying, you go into this nice place, and the lady. So when Adam started talking about the reality center, for some reason I was like, I wonder if these is the same place, but I guess it's not. But I just thought, wow, there seems to be a lot of interesting work going on in Santa Monica, bro.
Well, I definitely was thinking, like, I could see potential why this would be good for PTSD. It's not like it's not. I mean, it really lightened the load, dude. I came out of there and I was like, I mean, I remember feeling like, why stress about it? Whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Chuman, what would happen if you compound? Now, I'm not saying that somebody's going to spend $250 a day. But what happens if you start compounding those times with more and more over time?
Oh, I don't.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm going to find out.
Right.
I'm going to find out. There's certain things that. So I started reading the Sylvan method of mind control. Mm-hmm. And it's a system that's out there, but it's all about getting into an alpha state. And if you've done any kind of work in recovery, you know that when they do meditations or whatever, there's different programs or different sensors and things that they can do to get you to get in an alpha state. And the alpha state is the frame of mind that you're in. The alpha waves is what your mind's going through when you wake up from a dream. It's that space that you feel when you're waking up from a dream. And then there's theta waves and beta waves, which I think can only achieve, generally speaking, when you're in deep sleep. And there's this whole book called Why We Sleep, and the guy goes deep into what this does for your mind, what this does for memories, what this does for stress, what this does for all these things. Whatever. I don't know. But so at the reality center, really what all these programs are set up to do is to put you into an alpha state in one phase, then bring you down to it. Because I asked him afterward, I'm like, what states were we in? And he said, then you went to theta, then we take you to beta or whatever. And so
then the meta.
Like the Silva method, the idea of going into these different levels of brain activity is to make an imprint on your subconscious.
Right.
Because apparently, from what I've read, your conscious mind is not very good at getting you to change your behavior at all. Like when you're trying to do it and all that stuff is problematic. However, if you can imprint on your mind what it is that you really want to achieve, then your subconscious will make it happen, not through magic, but through putting you in the right situations or whatever it is. And it's that, I think it's, I don't know, maybe Sean can speak to this, but it's akin to that flow state you get to when you're no longer thinking about it, but you're able to produce this mastery or this ability because it's deeper in your mind. Right.
There's a lot of people that say that it's the subconscious that's actually running the show, and that you're conscious.
Dude, they have studies where they've been able to measure the time where someone's supposed to make a decision to push the button, and so they can measure your brain activity. And they actually say that the decision to press the button happens somewhere in the mind first before it gets to the frontal lobe to push the button. That the decision's already made before your conscious mind knows to.
I believe that 100%. That sounds right. That feels right. It just feels, what you just said just resonates with me. I don't know. But listen, man, I think when you start compounding these things that we're getting out of it, if you're going from not having anything like that in your life, not having that time, that space, that experience, that break, that gap to creating that. And then you get benefits when you walk out for 30 minutes. What would happen if you started compounding that? Is that like you're downloading your fucking brain a little bit? You're emptying out shit? You're making more space?
Right.
You know what?
All right.
Huh?
I'll tell you what. I am purposely switching off of regular therapy and taking whatever money I would have spent on therapy and putting it onto weekly trips to the reality center, because when they were asking me to go back to this place, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, think of the place, right? I really tried to do it. Like, I really was willing. So when I was breathing and I went back to this place, mm-hmm. they said, like, what's the place that you want? Where the sky meets the ocean, mm-hmm. like the horizon. That's mm-hmm. really where I want to be. On a tropical island, in the surf. I can see the shells in the water. The water's warm. I'm in a boat. The boat's got dried paint, old a little bit, and I can feel the breeze. It's warm, and they're like, "Okay, now we want you. Now that you're in that zone, vision it. Now, say I am statements, whatever comes to your mind." And I said, "I am serenity," which is, in some ways the complete opposite of my ego persona. Mm-hmm. I am serenity. I am energized. And maybe you can get to that place all other ways, right? Maybe if you did Sean's Nabasana retreat and scared that Mormon guy out of there, or whatever he did, mm-hmm. you can get to those places. Mm. Or if you're in the sleep tank, whatever, right? Floating around in that salt water, you can get to those places. But that's
running out of the place without paying for your fucking session, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, and this is gonna sound, I don't know, but I can tell you this, probably about a year and a half ago, I spent a lot of time trying to manifest getting high without doing drugs. I was like, man, I really wish I could hallucinate without drugs, man. It's got to be some way. Maybe if I don't eat for like a week, maybe I'll just go off in for some reason I was really wanting to do that, because I knew I couldn't do it with mushrooms for real. I knew I couldn't do it with ayahuasca or LSD for real because of my particular situation. But I was like, man, there's got to be another way to send your mind into la la land, bro. Huh? And then that bald, heavy-set reporter came to our fucking thing.
Yep, and you took that information and did something with it.
Immediately. I didn't even wait.
Yeah. Nah, bro.
So, yeah, I'm going to go back, and yes, I am going to compound that.
All right. So, and I think, Juman, there's more than just that. I think there's a few other things that we could be doing, but yeah, man, we're gonna have to talk about that when some of us can afford to, or are get ready to do that. We'll do that one. I'm gonna get some prices over at Pause. Not quite that expensive. I think Pause is like $75 for a session or something.
Let's do it, man. Let's do one. And then, I wish there was some way we could do one where we would come right into the show like 20 minutes afterwards. So that we could really give an experience of an altered moods and altered states.
Well, yeah, you could share what's really happening in real time.
Yeah.
We'll work on it, and we'll bring it to you people. We're going to bring it to you people, the Hard Luck guests. We're going to take on these experiences. We are going to go experience them for you, share with you, give us our opinions, and maybe try and turn you guys on to some new cool shit that we found out, right, Juman?
Yeah, dude, we live in the capital. I want to say the mecca of innovative ways to achieve altered states.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, good shit, bro.
That was fantastic.
Hey, altered states. Might have to call the show Altered States.
I think that's what we should call it.
Listen, 30-6 Altered States, all right? Yeah. Show them, Chuman. Just as you fuck around with the lawyer, you're going to get the 30-06.
I'm a proud soldier of the United Altered States.
Yeah, that's right, man. And that's right, partner. Listen, thanks for joining us for the show. You know, www.supermaxhardware.com. Check us out. Vibes Papers, at Cookies SF. Big shout out to Burner and the Vibes Cookies fam. Esteban Oreo Soul Assassins. Alchemist, Mugs, the team, right? And always listen to the Hard Luck Show on Mondays and Thursdays, 2 times a week. Chuman, what you got, my brother?
I got Ovando Bone LLP. We wear braids to court, let the tomahawks fly. The best legal representation that money can buy.
Yeah. What's up there, old blue eyes? What you got for the people?
All I got is www.hardluckshow.com.
Man, he just said it. www.hardluckshow.com.
That's right.
That's it.
Mike.
They got Mike Angelo Photography and IG and all. Next thing looking forward to, let's go float.
Hey, what's the rental company?
Also, Bionic Sound System. Hit up Chris Boogie. Got good deals for you for all your DJ needs.
Bionic. The only thing I know other Bionic is my fucking Bionic shoulder.
Titanium, brother.
Titanium.
How's the shoulder coming along?
It's coming along. I'm going to show everybody the scars next week, so you tune in. But for right now,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.